Hello, my name is Mats Granström of Interweb Technology. I'm going to show a few possible process steps for bilingual extraction of relevant terms for a project involving XTM Cloud and TermWeb. You can see here that the new project is already imported into XTM in a project in XTM, and there are not very many terms identified. So what you want to do is to find relevant texts, bilingual texts from the same subject area, and use these in porting these into the term base. Okay, so what you do is click TM in XTM, and here there is a dialog that you say align. You click align first, align tab, and there is a dialog. You can call it a line demo, and the source language would be English. Let's say English neutral, and the target language is Swedish, and the source file is English, and the target file is Swedish corresponding file. This is the one. And the fun thing is that you can use this dialog to extract, to create a new TM, to align bilingual text and create a TM, right? But you can also use it to extract terminology. Maybe you don't want the full TM because this is relevant text with similar terminology. Then you click extract bilingual terminology. Okay, let's go align, and it takes a little while, not a very long time, but anyhow, you can see that here, and you go to the result. You make a shortcut here. It doesn't take so much time, but aligned. Sorry, this is not the one. Align terms, of course. Align terms, and you can see that there is, for example, article, freedom, protection, law, and all these terms. And you can see that you have the similar, the corresponding terms in Swedish. Okay, what you would do here is maybe to check it a little and if there are some mistakes, you can correct them directly here. And you can save this file as another one, which already did, align terms, edited version. So what I did was actually to add a few terms at the end that I know is useful terms from my head, more or less from my experience. And you can see that this is exactly the same file with the context in different parts of the file, the two files, right? English and Swedish. So this is the extracted terminology in English and Swedish with the context. Okay, let's close this one. And let's go back to the TermWeb. Sorry. Here we go to TermWeb. I want to import this. I go to the dictionaries tab, and I select this dictionary. Okay, this is the one with 2000 blah blah, and this is, you see have the correct fields, also the fields frequency and so on used by the extractor in XTM. So what I do is import. It's a new data into this dictionary. I select the file, and the file would be the edited one. Open it and import. And the file is valid, nothing strange. And the mapping of the tab in Excel to the section, right? Normal things in the import process in TermWeb. And this is just say, okay, all these mappings of field names is correct. All in this mapping is correct. And what I do in the process is actually to automate the setting of a status by a workflow. I'm not going to show all the workflows, but there is a workflow, which means that everything that's imported this way will have an automated status. It will also have, okay, import was complete. would also have, there will also be a workflow sending a message to a group of people or to a certain person telling that now we have new term candidates being imported into TermWeb. Please check, do whatever you want to do to check. So actually I could say that now I am the receiver of this email. I import it. You can actually go to the search view. Yeah, here you see the message, new concepts imported into blah, blah, as unprocessed because that was the workflow, into this server and the client and the dictionary. So new terms have imported, new concepts have been imported, please check. And you can use the filter here because this is a full database, no filter has been applied. So let's go to the filter, latest additions. There are different filters here. So here you can see that these discrimination, decision makers, United Nations, all of these are all in the database. What you could do actually when is also check the, you already have a database in this example. You could check for with the import file against the existing database by using the batch search tool in the system functions of TermWeb. So you have the same file, aligned terms, edited, and you have the English language, the English terms in the first column, and the dictionary you state here. And then you actually have, say, what fields do you want to check? What fields do you want to show in the result? And the result could look something like this. This is the same examples. These are the terms in the import file. And here you can see that United Nations is the only term that already existed in the database. Okay, so what you could do is go back to TermWeb and say that first you could add this to the staging area. Let's select the new terms staging area, right? And the other, let's take away the filter and search for the old United Nations. This is the one, and let's add that one. Here we go, to the staging area, to the same staging area, to be able to merge. So now the terms have been imported, but now I am mimicking being a terminologist that wants to take care of all these new terms. And I do that preferably in the staging area. I think it's called new terms. And here we can see that we have these concepts already imported. And you can see that it's automatically via workflow set as unprocessed, both the English and the Swedish terms. And if you want to show more, of course, you can show also the context, for example, from the import file. If you want to check that specifically. But to have an easier overview, you can remove some fields. Here we go. So what you can do here is, of course, I'm not going to show all the details, but you have a possibility to for example, say that this United Nations is not United Nations in Swedish. So you should actually mark this for deletion, right? Yeah, delete that from the dictionary. And you could, of course, in the United Nations, here, this one, you could add the abbreviations for English and Swedish. This is correct Swedish. And if you're ready with all these, let's short circuit this a little. You could select like this and say that these are all ready, at least provisionally processed. Here we go. And same thing here, process status. And maybe these are very good, or they are provisionally processed. It's up to you how your process looks. So now you change in batch, and then you publish. So what happens now is that these drafts are published to the real TermWeb database. Let's go there and see and there is no filter. You can see that the old United Nations with the incorrect Swedish English term is deleted by order from the staging area. And here you can see that United Nations with context and everything is shown. So here we go. Now we have correct terminology imported into the database. And what you do is go back to the project. That was a translation project in XTM. And you can see that you open a project, the XTM editor, demo project, workbench in Swedish. I open the project again for translation. And now you can see that if after this process, you can find, you can identify a lot more. Human rights, of course, is one of the main terms, but you can see that when you click, you can see that countries, blah blah, lots of more terms. So as you go from segment to segment, lots of more terms have been identified because it's fetched from the updated TermWeb database over here, right? So all these terms have been imported, and United Nations would of course be now with the correct Swedish translation, Förenta Nationerna. Okay, this is just a short overview of the tools in the toolbox in XTM Cloud and in TermWeb to help you get started in an efficient way with a brand new project with a similar content as the reference files that you may have in store. Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.